Hi everybody, it's me Larry with another video. I had a request to make a video on vaping. A basic entry-level type video I'm going to try and make. I've been doing this vaping for a while now, and I've moved on past the entry-level stage quite a while ago. So I don't really have any entry-level devices here. I've given them all away to my children, or not grandkids, my children. And so I don't have any actual entry-level devices here to show you, but I can still think I can explain it. Vaping is an electronic cigarette. That's what they normally were first called, electronic cigarettes. Now they're just the act is more or less called vaping or in vaporizers. You can still buy the little things that look like cigarettes in gas stations and stuff like that. One's called Blue, and they have different names, but they're a little disposable thing that looks like a cigarette. When you draw on them, the end of it lights up, and you use them until they don't work in the morning. You pitch them. Well, them are still used by some people. They're kept in a glove compartment or something in a pinch. You know, in emergency, you need a vape, and you don't have the device you had with you quit working or is out of juice or whatever. You know, they can use one of those, but most people don't use those no more. They have just tons of devices nowadays you can buy for vaping. For as cheap as, $15 for a little starter kit, up into the hundreds of dollars, actually thousands of dollars for a device, depending on how elaborate you want to go. You get what you pay for. The person that asked me about this wanted to know about an entry level. Well, basically an entry level device is a small tubular battery, about the size of your little finger, and the batteries are rated in mAh, M-A-H. You'll see a designation on, if you look up vaping, devices and stuff. You'll see sometimes you'll see a it'll say MAH. It'll say mAh, which is milliamp hours. That's like the rating on the battery. And the higher the mAh, the higher the milliamp hour rating, the longer the battery will last. So consequently, the less you have to charge it, the longer you can vape without having to recharge it. Some of them entry-level devices they have like a little 400 mAh battery or 650, and I think them type of batteries go up to 1100. Is as high as you can get. Some of them have a little thing on the bottom where you can turn and adjust the voltage, and some of them are you just screw your device on the top and you hit the button, and that's basically it. Them are entry-level. They have a little small tank on them, somewhat like this little tank. And basically the battery's about the same diameter, and it gives you a little small, compact looking device, like a big oversized pencil, more or less. And the tank holds juice you put in, and that's an entry level. They got them for like $14.95. I've seen them, but you gotta keep in mind, now you get what you pay for. The tanks ain't that great on them, although they do vape. I mean, they couldn't sell them if they didn't, but they are entry level, and you do get what you pay for. The batteries don't last that long, and you have to recharge. And they come basically with this. This is a charger off one. It's a little charger with a connection on it, and it has your standard USB plug-in where you plug it in your computer to charge the battery. Or if you have here, let me show you one. Like, let's say you have a tablet, and this tablet came with a power supply. Unlike this, some are smaller. This is a 2-amp one. Some of them are 1 amp, but it has your USB in it. You can plug this into this, plug it in the wall, and have it charge instead of plugging it into your computer. So yeah, that's a way to charge the entry-level ones. They always come with a little charger like this. That's your entry level. Now, let's get into the components. Your entry level usually comes with a tank, a small, cheap tank, and the little battery, and the little charger I just showed you. And like I say, you can get them for $14.95 up. You know, some of them come with kits of like 2 of them in a package, and some of them come with, you know, a little bit bigger battery than others, and they cost a little bit more, you know, $20, $25 for this entry level thing. Or you can do what I would suggest, depending on how much you want to spend. This device is a battery. It's large, yeah, it's square. It holds it in your hand. But this is a 2600 mAh battery. And this thing will last people, if you don't chain vape, it'll last you all day. Or if you don't vape that often, it may last you as much as 2 days before you have to charge it again. And any of your tanks will screw on the top of it. It has your standard 510 connector on the top, and any tank will just screw right on there with no problems. Or if you have the Eagle style entry level type tank, the small diameter ones, they have a different type of threading on them. They have like inside threads. This is a Eagle style tank, small tank that would be on one of them starter kits. That will also screw on here. So then you got the little small diameter tank on there. But this device is what I recommend to everybody. I gave my son one. I found these on the internet now for as low as $39.95. They come with a tank similar to this. It's they come with a tank, so you don't have to buy a tank. But basically, they come with a tank like this, and it has your swivel drip tip on it, or you can remove that and you put any kind of drip tip in it you want. But I've seen them for as low as $39.95. Typically the price is like $59.95. But it's digital. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this, but it says non. Okay, let me see. I can get this on the camera. It says non because I don't have a tank on it. What it does, it reads the ohms of your tank. I'm not going to get into ohms, but you see it says 1.5 and it says 4.1. That 4.1 is the charge condition of the battery. When the battery's full, it's 4.2. It's down to about 3.5 and you recharge it. Also, this is the fire button. You hit that, see it light up green? That's when it's working, firing the coil. When you first turn it on, you hit the button 3 times. Red, yellow, green. Shows it's on. And this is also the condition of your battery. When it's green, you've got a pretty full charge, and as your battery gets down, it'll turn yellow. As it gets down farther, it'll turn red, and then you know it's time to recharge this. Okay. This recharges with this little device here. Cord that comes with it. It's got 4 connectors on it. Has 2 different size mini USB connectors. Has a iPhone connector on it for the older iPhones, like a 3S or a 4S, and it has your USB on the other end. And what this does, it get it the right way, plugs in your battery, and you plug it either into the USB in the computer or one of those power supplies I showed you, USB power supply that plugs in the wall, and it charges it. Okay, here's another plus for this device. You see here on the bottom that little small USB connector. That's where you plug in right there to charge it. But next to it, there's a USB connector. So what you do is you take this cord and you reverse it, and you plug that USB connector in that big plug, you flip this switch here on the bottom, and you can plug this into your phone. If you have an iPhone or an Android phone that uses a small mini or sub-mini connector, and this device will actually charge your phone. Yeah. So if you happen to have your vape thing machine with you and you're out somewhere and your phone goes dead, you're in good shape. You just hook this up to your phone. It'll immediately start charging your phone, which will let you call whoever you want to call. I mean, you know. And then you unplug this, flip your switch, and it's back to vaping again. So this is a pretty nice unit. It's something I recommend to anybody. I use it all the time, and I have passed entry level a long time ago. Now mine happens to look like a Doctor Who's Tardis, if you know what that is, but this is a vinyl sticker that you buy and put on it. Normally they come in black, silver, or light blue, but like I say, around $59.95 comes your tank, comes with everything. You see the charger with it, and I recommend these to everybody to start out with, man. I mean, this is the thing to start out with. One of them cheaper Eagle style tube type, they work, they're entry level. If you really want to be cheapo and start out that way, if you don't know if you're going to like it or not, then by all means buy one. You probably end up buying something like this anyway, if you like it. So that's that. Now, you can, when you get into this stuff, you can start buying a lot more expensive devices. You can get pipes. Yeah, it's a pipe. I mean, they make just about anything you can think of for this. What actually starts out as a way for you to stop smoking turns into a hobby. And pretty soon you're collecting devices. You don't have just one, you have a whole bunch of them. I have so many that, you know, I like to change my juices, you know, the different flavors. And rather than having to screw the tank off and back on, I have a different device for each one. I may have 4 or 5 devices with all the different flavors I like on them. When I get tired of one flavor, I just grab another device. So you can, it gets involved. I mean, you can make a whole hobby out of it. What am I doing for time here? About 12 minutes. Now I'll try and teach you a little bit about tanks. They're all basically the same. From a small one to a large one, you have the tank and you have a heating device which screws into it in some manner, shape, or form, and you have a drip tip, which some are not removable, but most are. You take the drip tip out, you can replace it with different types of drip tips, and that's another thing. Some people collect drip tips. It's unbelievable. But let me try and show you this. This is your basic tank. This is a Pro Tank 2. They already have a Pro Tank 3 out, and I think I have one even newer than that. But they're all basically the same. You got your tank, you got your drip tip, and then you have your heating element. And usually the heating element, most generally screws into the bottom. You screw this out, you put your juice into the tank, and the bottom holds the heating element. And you screw the heating element out, which is removable. Has a little wicks here on the side that soak up the juice from the tank, and it has a little coil inside that heats up that vaporizes that juice that these little wicks suck up. And these last for quite a long time. If you want to change juices, different flavors, I usually try and change this device because you don't have to. Once you start vaping with if you put a different flavor in your tank, it'll take a while get all the old flavor out of this heating element. But these normally last for a long time, and when they go bad, either you won't get a good vape no more. It's not the coil is failing, but the coil gets corroded with gunk, burn-on juice, and your vapor level will be reduced. You won't get as much vapor. Or, in a worst case scenario, you'll get a burnt taste. And when that happens, you can just unscrew this and pitch it. Screw a new one in. Screw it down tight. Put it back in your tank. and you're ready to go again. These tanks normally all come apart. This one comes all apart. I'm not going to show you now, but you can take it all apart and wash it. So you get all the old juice out before you change it, put your different juice in it. Also, this is a tip from me. Now these tanks you can buy, they come all kinds of different shapes and sizes, and they have different types of wicking systems. I mean, some have top wicks, some of them have heating coils in the top, some have heating coils in the bottom. There's dual heating elements, there's single heating elements. I mean, there's my advice to you is to get on the internet, type in vaping, and start reading all this stuff. You'll gain a knowledge. But I do recommend for somebody starting out, and this tank that comes with this device is not glass tank, it's plastic. And plastic has a downside. Some juices you buy, if you, like a cinnamon type juice, like you could buy cinnamon rolls or something, any juice that has cinnamon in it, or anise, or licorice, or some citrus flavors like lemon, lime, stuff like that, they have a tendency to eat the plastic, and some of them will actually crack the plastic. So what happens, I'll show you a tank. Here's a tank that's, I don't know if the camera's going to show it, but it's not clear. It's like a white fog on the plastic, and that's where the juice has been eaten into the plastic itself. So in order to combat that, when you buy a tank, you buy one that's glass. This is glass. This one's glass. When you buy tanks, they'll say Pyrex or glass. If they don't say that, then they're most generally plastic. And they're, some juices can destroy the tank. So I always buy glass. No matter what, I buy glass. Then I can stick any juice in it and without fear, and don't worry about it. So that's a tip. Okay, drip tips. Billions of different kinds of drip tips. All kinds of prices. Some people have hand-blown glass drip tips. They'll cost you $30 or more for just a little tip to go in the top of your device. Some people like that. Some people collect them. Like I said, this is a hobby. It turns into a hobby. Some drip tips are stainless steel. A majority of them are, and they come out and they have a little O-ring on them, and they just sit in and they pop in, and there you go. Well, then you have your plastic ones. Here's a plastic one. Green, come in different colors. Here's a clear one. Completely different types. Here's an aluminum one with a curved stem on it. That little drip tip costs $10, but it's cool. Okay, here's another one. Look at this one. This is one of my favorites. It's small in diameter, and so, like I say, every aspect of these vaping is turned into a hobby or a collection. It's really crazy. But anyway, I guess that's about all I can think of to tell you about to get you started. That's basically the basics. I would buy one of these to start with if I was you, if you can afford it. If not, get you an Ego style, that's small, skinny, oversized pencil type, and they will work for you until you can save up, maybe get something like this. Like I said, these aren't too expensive. Like $39.95 I've seen them for. Some of them are $59.95, but the only drawback is it comes with a plastic tank, but you can always buy any tank you want and screws on here. But and it lasts a long time. You don't have to worry about recharging all the time, which makes it nice. And I told you about the other advantages to having it. And also the other tip I would say is if you buy another tank, make sure it's glass. Some tanks have a tendency to gurgle. They don't get good air, and when you try and draw or inhale, you hear this gurgling when you try and draw on them. Usually that's from drawing too hard, and it's not getting enough air, and you're drawing too hard, and you're sucking the juice up into this tube that runs down in the middle, and it gurgles as you draw on it. So the way you get rid of that is you turn the thing upside down, you blow gently, and the juice will come out of the center conductor here, and you wipe it off, you put it back on, and usually that'll cure your gurgling. Now, as you get into this, there's other things you can do, tons of things you can do. You can build your own coils that go into these devices. That's what I'm into now. And they have other types of tanks. They have called a Genesis tank, which, well, I'm not going to get into all that. And they have what they call drippers. And drippers is where you get the best flavor, and that's what I'm into now. I use drippers. Just a little tiny dripper. There's a large diameter hole in it, and you actually drip your juice, like 8 or 10 drops into this thing, and you vape on it until you get a slightly burnt tasting hit, and then you put a few more drops. But the flavor's fantastic compared to a regular tank. But it's also a hassle because you got to drip it all the time. But I got nothing better to do. And you get tremendous vapor, tremendous flavor from these drippers. But it's not entry level. And of course, also, you know, there's two types of way to vape. There's mouth to lung and pure lung. Mouth to lung is when you just take it in your mouth and then inhale it, you know. And I don't do that anymore. All I do is lung hits. I inhale it directly into my lungs. But, you know, all this stuff you learn. You got to do your homework, get on Google and Google this crap. There's tons and tons of videos about vaping, about tanks, reviews on juice. Juice is coming. If you're new to this, let's see. This is a 30 ml bottle. They come in 15 ml bottles, smaller bottles. And they come in any flavor under the sun. Tobacco flavors, cigar flavors, if you like tobacco. Pastry flavors, food flavors, drink flavors, candy flavors. I've got cotton candy over here. I've got root beer. I've got blueberry. I've got strawberry. I've got wintergreen. I've got black clove. You ever hear of the Durham cigarette? You know, brown clove cigarettes that come from India. I got stuff over here that tastes exactly like them. I've got cinnamon rolls. I've got a ton of juices. And it makes it so much better than smoking. Now, the whole idea of doing this is to stop smoking. But I don't tell people that. I just want them to vape. Why? I don't care if they stop the nicotine. If they like the nicotine, fine. Keep doing the nicotine. And the nicotine comes in different levels. 24 milligrams. And when you order your juice, you specify what strength you want your nicotine. It comes in 24, 18, 6, 0. I vape with 0 nicotine. I've quit smoking 30 years ago. I have no nicotine in my system. I don't put any in with the vaping. Why do I vape? So I used to miss the action, the holding of the thing. You know, just, I don't want to say this, the act of smoking, but I no longer smoke. I vape. I don't get no nicotine. It makes me happy. I like doing it, and I love the flavors. I'm not running to the kitchen as much and getting as fat as every time I feel like I'm hungry, I grab a a cherry pie or a apple pie or a cinnamon roll, and I start vaping the crap out of that. It's sweet vape. I don't go to the kitchen no more. So I just do this for the hell of it. I don't do it to try and stop smoking. A lot of people do this to actually stop smoking, and it does work. They do that. They start out with a high nicotine, and they keep stepping down until they're done with nicotine altogether. And that's the idea of this. But the main idea to it, and what I like about it, and why I try to get people to vape instead of smoke, is you're not putting all them damn cancer-producing carcinogens into your body. All that tar and chemicals, and there's like 4,000 chemicals you're putting in your body every time you take a drag off a stinky, what we call cigarette stinkies in the vaping world. You don't stink like tobacco no more. Your taste comes back. Your breathing comes back. You can breathe. I used to sit on the edge of the bed, wake up in the middle of the night, sit on the edge of the bed and try and cough my lungs up, coughing up black crap. I smoked for 30 years, and I'd get up and just die in the middle of the night on the edge of the bed. And what would I do? I'd go take a whiz, and I'd come back and have a cigarette before I went back to bed. I was hopeless. Well, I quit cold turkey. Made a lot of enemies when I did it. Nowadays, it's easy. You vape. It's that easy. And you're not getting all that bad shit in your body. That's why I 100%, 110%, 120% recommend this. It's so much better than burning that tobacco and putting it in your lungs. So I'm going to get off my wagon, off my rant. I try to hopefully explain this a little bit to some of you that are just wanting to get started, don't quite understand what it's all about. Boy, I'm glaring them glasses. And so look into it. Get on the internet and type in vaping, and you're going to find more videos on YouTube that you ever thought about in your life. And anything you can think of, from tanks to juices. They have juice reviews, tons of juice reviews. People just get juices, and they sit there and they vape them on the screen, and they tell what they taste like to them and how they like them. And it's vaping is now, man, it's taken over. Vaping is going to kick cigarettes' ass, and pretty soon they ain't going to be people smoking that much no more. Everybody's going to be vaping. It's getting that big. It's getting bigger every day. And even the major tobacco companies know this. They're already buying that little blue advertisement you see on TV for the electronic cigarettes. That's owned by a big major cigarette company. They're worried, and they ought to be. People don't want that cancer-producing shit in their lungs no more. And people are getting smart. I'm here to try and make you smart. Quit them damn stinkies. Get on the vapor. Get on the vaporizer. Also, another thing I failed to mention, you know, you got an initial investment in these, but it's going to save you all kinds of money. Yeah, lots of money. We all know what the price of cigarettes are now. When I quit, they were like $2.75 a pack, and that was terrible. And nowadays, shit, in New York, they're like $15 a pack for a pack of cigarettes. That's freaking crazy. A bottle of juice, 30 mils like this, is you can get them for as cheap as less than $10 to maybe $20, $25 for the real premium stuff. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this should be equal to about 4 cartons of cigarettes. Yes, that's right, cartons. What does 4 cartons of cigarettes cost you? When you can get this for around $20 or less. Don't think it'll save you money? You still get your nicotine. You get wonderful flavors. You're only inhaling and exhaling water vapor. Think about it. Do it. Get off them stinkies. Thanks for watching. This is Larry. Over and out.